Yes, everybody, if you can join me in the chat and say thank you, Stuart, please. Thank you, everybody. And we have here with Zayuddin has opened her camera as well. Zayuddin, say hello to everybody. Are you in the position you can talk? Are you hanged? Or is it Sizrin? Hi, Sizrin. You're muted still. Are you able to unmute? Hello.
Hello.
Doing today? What? You have two devices going on. Maybe because the two devices going on, is it?
Yes.
So, Adrian, what do you do? Share with everybody.
Say hi.
Hi. So, what do you do, Sizrin? Like, do you offer coaching and speaking as well? Do you offer programs? You're muted. So, Adrian, once you get your tech results, I'll come back to you in a second and introduce what you do for everybody. Can we? All right. Love to hear what you guys do and how it can be a part of your mission, just like Stuart as well. I think that's really, really great and amazing. So, and if that's what you want to achieve, then I hope that in my area of expertise I've heard over the last 20 years now, I'll be able to give you some ideas today. And if I can give you some ideas today, then at the end of today, at the end of my sharing, then may I have maybe about 5-10 minutes of the time to share with you how I can help you further by letting you know about my program details and all. Are we okay to do that? If okay, give me a thumbs up or give me a okay in the chat. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Stuart. I see you now. All right, that's amazing. So now, who has at least one of these three major problems? Hi, Sizrin from Penang. Penang. I miss my Penang noodles. My God, and the Penang laksa. Jeez. All right, man. So let's see if you fall and you kind of like belong into one of these categories for what I'm gonna cover tonight. All right, and see if you're in the right room. So is your commission, your income, and your wealth goals really consistent? And if they are not, then welcome, because that's something that I've been proud of in helping my friends, students, and clients over the last 20 years. Or maybe your income is consistent, you kind of like you are at your income mark, but you are frustrated at losing deals. And you have no idea why sometimes, all right? And it's sometimes you just find a perfect match, but you still lose the deal. And you kind of get frustrated because it's not like they don't have the money to pay for you. It's not like they didn't agree you have value, but for some reason, they just didn't make that last step. Or they made it and halfway they kind of like back off. And you kind of like frustrated because you have no idea why. Or if you're not like that, then do you face a lot of disagreements when it comes to offering your product and services, when it comes to explaining what you do, or when it comes to really helping people to see what you can do? Because sometimes, especially for coaches like me, speakers, and offering this kind of program, things can get very intangible and it's not as easily explainable, isn't it, Stuart? I mean, how do you tangibilize and quantify how much is a self-esteem worth and confidence and things like that, right? And this is the part where what you agree on, you can still get disagreement, even if you can get a lot of people saying the same thing over and over again, right? So if you have at least one of these three problems, then congratulations. I believe that what I can do for you is very possible to help you at least have some ideas by the end of today. And if we have the good fortune to work on continuously for the next 6 months, I believe that you will solve either one of these three, if not all of these three. Yeah, difficult to put into words. I agree. And so most of the time, I think that if you face one of these three problems, then you definitely face at least one of these 6 situations, isn't it? Where people might be saying what? Either, oh, you know what? I need to think about it. And then you're like, man, your house is on fire. Your inner self is having problems. And you still need to think about what? I mean, what don't you want your confidence immediately from yesterday? Right? Isn't it true, Stuart, that some people can make use a lot of confidence since yesterday? And that is one script you should be writing down, because that script is very powerful, right? So helping people to see that sometimes not to think about it anymore, but to act on it, right? Because why? Why do people want to think about it? They'll say things like, I don't see the value. I think I know what you're talking about. I don't see the value. And this is the time where your skills have to come into place, where you have to help people see your value, right? And most of us can use some confidence since yesterday, not tomorrow. Isn't it true? So, and some people might agree with you, and they might be saying, but it's not the right time now. But the truth is, when is it really the right time, isn't it? Like, when is the best time to invest? Warren Buffett would say 10 years ago, isn't it? So, if not now, then when? When the life catch up, when you have a kid, when your kids gets married, time is never right. But how come people would say that? Even though intellectually they know that making a purchase with you, taking the next step with you, it might be the right choice, but they always say that it's not the right time. And if they don't say that, then they say what? Can the company be trusted? The product, can it be trusted? Especially if you sell intangible products like myself, where a lot of times is more verbal, more communication related. And, it's very hard to show people about the product itself, not like a car, not like some supplements and things like that. Okay. If not, then they will say what? The final one, if you can get past all of this, the final one, they say, I need to ask my either wife or husband. And that's their final ultimatum, right? Because why? If you tell them they shouldn't, you're offending them. If you let them, if you try to let them go and say that they should, they probably wouldn't ask anyway. They are using all of this. Are they really giving you a reason not to buy, or are they coming up with excuse to run away? Now, as someone who offers my program for the last 15, 20 years now, who do this, I realize one thing that's very, very profound and very powerful, which is none of all this, zero, all of this that you're seeing on your screen are never the reason. They are always an excuse. Now, I want you to think back the last time you bought something that is way out of your budget, completely out of your budget. What happened? I can predict one or two things that happened, even though we have not met before. Right, Stuart? We have not met before. But I can predict at least one or two things. That you bought something out of a budget, and on your way back, you come up with all the reasons to prepare your wife for the purchase. And you start to think of all the benefits that can benefit your wife. And you go back and here you tell them, look, it's great that I made this choice, isn't it? You hypnotize yourself into selling your own wife where you didn't need to ask your wife at all, or your spouse. Isn't it true, Saizrin? The last time we buy something, right? We bought something that's not supposed to be in our budget. Now, how come your prospects are saying that when you yourself is also going through that? Interesting, isn't it? So all of these are not really reasons. Because if it's true and valid reason, for example, if you are selling a 10K product to someone who is only having $1,000 in their bank, hey, that's a valid reason. Then by all means, to be fair, if they are not buying, it's really out of their budget. But then again, if they are resourceful enough, isn't it true that they can always find the money from somewhere? So the first thing I would love to share with all of you is that if you're facing at least one of the six, if not all of the six, and you're always struggling, then the truth is that you're either not talking to the right people or you're not selling the right product. Because if you're selling the right product and you are putting in front of the right people, chances are, like yourself, when you buy something that's very expensive, chances are you don't have to really counter and come up with any objections at all. Isn't it true, Dave, Philip, CK? Right? So when people really wants to buy something, there's no objection needed. The truth is, do you know how to position? Do you know how to brand? Do you know how to help them in a way that is not salesy, in a way that's very ethical, in a way that's very, very helpful? So how do you do that? Very importantly, okay? So what you learn is that how I helped in for a tutor who was earning under 1,000 a day, right? A month. And he was facing the same issues as all of you as well, if you're facing any one of those problems. That he was doing great work for the students, tuition, one of the best tuitions he offers, but he was barely making 1,000 a month. And then in 90 days, he went on to become hundreds of thousands and making quarter millions every year, just by offering one tuition and one product. And not just, even if you're not a retail product, if you're in a very sensitive financial product, such as fund management, right? One of my clients, a fund manager, earning $29,000 in under 20 days. And being in front of a room full of very hot investors ready to put $3 million with him in just 3 days. And once you learn the skills, once you have all these skills, it's a lifelong skill, isn't it? Because if you can do it one time, you practice it just like driving, you can drive all sorts of cars, isn't it true? So it's a skill for lifetime. And whatever your dream goal is for this year, I don't know if you have a dream goal. My goal with my healthcare company is to get into another 10,000 families, to get another thousands of people involved, to help people change their life and transform. I believe that even if you're making $1 million a year, then maybe there's still chances that you can try to make another 10 million. How's that? Sounds good? Okay. So if all of this is something that you are kind of like very, very interested in, then who will this work for? It will work for if you're in sales, financial services, real estate, professional service, online marketing, because persuasion is really at the core of everything. If you want to achieve phenomenal results, persuasion, the ability to persuade not just the client, your spouses, your families, your kids, getting a boyfriend, getting a girlfriend, or getting out maybe. How do you persuade to get out of a toxic relationship? And even if you're in a corporate, this is a skill that's not limited to just online marketing, but it's really a skill for a lifetime, even if you are trying to get into the corporate ladder and improving yourself to get to the next level. Maybe you're in the manager now and getting to a corporate. Okay, so that being said, if you're in the right room, I do the next, let me share about my story a little bit in the next 2 minutes. Can I? So you know a little bit about how I've been and what I've been achieved. Thank you. So over the last over 20 years now, I started off really as selling home estate. I was a real estate agent. I was selling developer home sales, and I always had to sell the buildings that are not built yet. I always had to sell the invisible stuff. In the overseas countries, sometimes they call this the BUC, the buildings under construction. So I've learned this skill to sell intangible items since I was young, very lucky. And then over the last 20 years now, I've been involved in teaching and presentation. I've spoken in almost more than 5 countries now, mostly in Asia. And if you have not heard about me about me on the first time, That's very normal because most of my events have always been offline. And just like everyone else, COVID changed everything. So this is the first few times that this is the first few moments. If you are seeing me for the first time online, it's very, very normal because my programs have always been offline, right? And with my skills, I got really lucky and I got involved with some of the establishments to help pass down leadership principles, persuasion skills back to the next generation, where they'll help to potentially and possibly be the next leader in our country, or maybe in other countries like Malaysia as well, like China. Hopefully, there are a lot of China kids who come to Singapore for what we have here. That with one of my partner is to do this. My partner is in the middle called Henry. And how has this skills really helped me is what you're seeing here on this screen. What is the movers and shakers of the ASEAN country, where they are all the very, very titans or in the education space. And how I got involved in this room and meeting all these great, great giants and titans was because of my partner who actually organized the CIMOC, the Singapore Math Olympiad. If you have heard of it, a lot of China parents, Malaysia, all across Asia send their kids to Singapore for this contest. This is the Olympic of math, and it's not just a play of words. In fact, when they actually won championship in the when they actually won the championship in this, they actually get a direct school admission, directly entering the school of their choice, their dream school. So it's a very, very great event. So when I am not sharing about my programs like this, what I'm doing is over here sharing and giving speeches to thousands of people. Anyone have a dream of becoming a speaker to this crowd of audience? You got to work on your knees so you can get off the stage properly, right? The first time I spoke to a size like this is very, very threatening. Right? So you can see me there on there next to the ambassadors of Laos and Cambodia. So it's just a little small achievement, and this is only relevant in hopefully and seed of inspiration that the skills that I've accumulated can be transferred if you ever have a desire for a chance to speak to crowds like that when you organize big events like that and inspire a lot of kids to take over the leadership role for the next decades. So it's something that I'm very, very passionate with. And I got lucky that I got as the president of the Yala Academy, we pass down leadership principles that I learned from my teachers themselves, because my teachers themselves are multimillionaires, billionaires, and they teach me things when I was at my lowest to help me get out of it. And then they make me promise one thing, that Jason, if you ever come out of it, then promise to pass it on as we did. And what I'm trying to do is to live up to my promise with my mentors, right? And you might be thinking that, hey, maybe Jason, you are a scholar in your school. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Right? I was never beyond a C student. I was always not the best scholars at all. And so if you're thinking that this is a talent, I assure you it's not. It's a trainable skill, it's a learnable skill, just like driving, just like riding a bicycle, and just like eating phenomenal foods. You learned to eat very, very amazing spicy foods, right? Everything is learnable. So this is a learnable skill as well. Okay. And with that skill, I went on to build sales team of big, big sizes, such as doTERRA, if you have heard of it. It's an essential oil company, and it's a direct sales company where I built my sales team over the last 10 years now, over 2,000 of people, impacting over tens of thousands of family, improving their health. I've also got a good fortune of being part of foundations and donations and using some of my wealth, some of my money to help the people who are in their third tier countries to help them rebuild as well, right? So that's a little bit about myself. And with that, all of those is not just about me, but also about my clients, my students who also doing great work, such as Hua. Hua is one of the few ABNLP practitioners in Vietnam. And when she first came to me, what happened was that she was like Stewart, were helping people to find their confidence, self-esteem. She loves spice as well, right? And but she has a problem selling. She has no problem. I mean, look at her. Look at all this phenomenal presence of her. She has no problem delivering the program. But the one problem she have is, how do I explain 20 years, 2 decades of work in 3 sentences? How do you explain 30 years of work in 3 minutes of pitches? And I've got a good fortune of helping her to understand her product, give her a pitch, help her with it. And till today, all right, she's still using what I've created for her years ago, from years and years ago, and resulting in changing and improving thousands of lives. And Saifu, a very, very famous speaker in Singapore as well, offering math and as well as uh, human potential for the little kids who are, under maybe secondary schools, under 16s, and helping them unleash their potential, helping them to, find back their self-esteem, their confidence, and to help them to really really to push the boundaries and to find out what can they really do. And for Saifu, he is not new to everything. However, he still can learn something. What did he learn is phenomenal. Listen.
Last time that I talked to him, he gave me one simple advice, just one small tip that allowed me to double the number of people that came to my workshop. And then after that, of course, it created even more sales for me, amounting to roughly $15,000.
So as speakers and sellers and positionists, if you're selling intangible products, let me give it to you right now. The first thing you need to do in the very beginning of a presentation within 20 minutes is one word. It's called results. What are the results that define your programs? What are the results that monumentally, right? Basically, it builds a moment of result where it defines that result that defines yourself. And even if you don't share your story at all, right? I mean, this is probably not the first class you have attended. And you have heard some classes where they go on and on and on talking about their stories, like for the next 3 hours, even though their class only have an hour, right? Does the story define them, or does the result define you? Because are you a speaker or are you a seller? Are you a persuasionist or are you a practitioner? It's very important to help your audience to realize this, that what are the results they should use to define you? What are the results? When you do a presentation, your job is not to tell stories. You have heard a lot of things about story sales. Yes, but your job is not just to tell stories. Your job is to really very, very structurally stabilize how people should be quantifying you. Because why? Because what speaks, friends? Results speaks for themselves. Results are the artifact of your success. So what is your artifact of success? Write this down. Artifacts of success. For example, what defines Leonardo? What defines a famous artist? It's not their birth stories, isn't it? It's the Mona Lisas of the world, isn't it? What defines Lamborghinis? What defines Ferrari? It's sure is some of the founder story, but more importantly is what the results of what the car can produce and provide for the owners who owns that car. So how should people actually measure you? How should people define you? You have set that for yourself. And your program, your life, your product is not about money. That's fine. Maybe your life is about family relationship. Let those define you. Let those results define you. Maybe it's connection with family, connection with parents, connection with moms. or maybe it's to prevent divorce, maybe it's to heal marriages. Let those result. I just happen to be in the result of money, because why? In my industry, unfortunately, you can tell a good story, but you can't close a sale. You can motivate millions of people, but you get paid peanuts on a speaker fee. Can you? Would you like to speak to 10 people and make $1 million a year? Or would you like to speak to 1 million people a year and don't even make $10? I mean, everyone's a different desire, right? And so for my industry, what measures me? Speed, income, but so everyone is different. All right, everyone's program is different. So most importantly is results. What results sets you apart? Very, very important. Now, what else after results?
That's time. He has structured for me what he has critiqued for me for all the different ads that I'm running right now. I think will easily, potentially,
The
double
next thing you
or
need
triple
is what?
my return on
The word
investment, and that is something
structure.
that's very difficult to do.
When you are selling something, you need to give people step-by-step structures. You need to let them know step 1, what to expect. Step 2, what's coming next. Step 3, what is the future result? What is the future ROI? What is the future potential? Why is this so important? Now, if you think about it, why would you give $10,000 to buy a car when you can buy the same car for 5,000 if? Why would you invest in a program for 2,000? Why would you invest in programs that help you become a author for 50,000? Why would you do that? Why would you go way out of your budget? Very simply put, because of the third thing that I shared, which is the future results. The future result is what's going to set the value of your item. Does it make sense? Why would people pay $50,000 for very, very expensive programs? Because the association with the speakers, the association, being close with the circle, entering those circles, has a very strong future ROI, has a very strong value where they can make $500,000, they can make 5 million. And because they can make 5 million, they don't mind paying 50,000, isn't it true? Now, maybe it's not about the money, but if they can pay 50,000, meet the love of their life, the partners of their dream, and build a dream business that can impact millions of people, even if they're selling a $10 product, maybe that's impressive. That's something that's of value too, isn't it? So can you see that everything is all connected? There's not just about money. So I'll give you this to you right now. The 3 biggest reasons why people buy anything. All right, ready? The first, of course, is money. You need to be able to position yourself as money, whether is it making more money or saving money. Number 2 is time. Either removing time from their life or adding time into their life. Number 3 is either removing love from their life, or sorry, I'll put it this way, removing harm from their life or adding love into their life. There are 8 more triggers, but these are the main top 3, and everything else is a subset of these 3. Over the years, I've learned that they're either looking for love or they're trying to get out of harm. They're looking to add more time into their life, which is to extend their health, right? To have more time on earth. That's why they buy health products. Or they want to remove time from their busyness, which is buying automation tools. Or simply put, add more money or lose more money, right? Fair enough? Everyone, is this useful so far in the first, what? How many minutes of your life? Are you glad you are here? This is 20 years of experience, struggles, confusion, all into a very distilled way of sharing. Aren't you glad you are here on a Thanksgiving? Right? So Sometimes difficult to put into words. That's true. That's true. That's true. Sometimes all of these three things is very difficult to put into the words, Stuart. Yeah. So how do you actually transfer that to your prospects? Take skills, isn't it? But once you understand how to position your product into areas like that, you don't have to say a single thing, they will still get it. True? So if they're looking for one of these three things, I mean, aren't you? Why are all of you on this session of this class? Where you could be elsewhere doing something else. Right? Who's wanting to earn more money on? Okay, great. Having more time in your life, more freedom. Yeah. And how about getting more connected to your prospects, your family members as well? We have more money, you have more time, and you connect more with your kids, your family, your prospects, your relatives, everyone. Isn't it true that these three reasons is the reason why you're here? Fair enough. So if you learn how to restructure your pitch, your structure, restructure your conversation, restructure your communication, restructure your selling, and if there's nothing else you learn from this, and this is the only thing you do from today onwards, do you think you can add another zero into your life, Stuart? Yeah? How about you, Sajrin? Dave, Philip, do you think it's possible? If 24/7 all you do is talk about that. Yeah. Isn't it amazing? Impressive so far?
And I was very surprised because I already am someone who is using Facebook on quite a regular basis.
The next thing you need is what?
I thought
Is to be able to
I'm
remove
able to do
objections
something,
way before they actually come out with it. What do I mean?
Well.
You see, when I teach this to advanced people, right? A lot of them think that selling is something that you do at the end of everything. What I try to teach my students, my friends, and my clients, as per what my teachers have taught me, is that you want to remove objections way before. What do I mean? You see, when I'm talking and selling to people who are already advanced, that means they're already doing some form of selling. They kind of already know what to do. Beginners, maybe not, but advanced people. And when you address a crowd of maybe hundreds of thousands of people, you don't know who is in the crowd. There could be a multi-billion CEO in a room that has already learned a lot of persuasion programs. True? So what you want to do is to remove the objections where potentially they might say things like, I already know what to do. I already know all of this. I already am someone who is a very experienced with what I do. So when I put in testimonials like that, when I put in results like that, where Saifu said, what did Saifu say? Do you guys remember? I was already someone who is experienced in what I do. And he's surprised that he can still get result out of it. And $15,000 may not be a lot for Saifu, but isn't it a lot for people who are beginners, who still think that they know it all and yet have not been getting results? And it humbles themselves from your prospects, isn't it? Because sometimes prospects are getting in the way of themselves. Agree? They're sabotaging their own success. They are not taking the step ahead, even though they should. Because why? It's all the interchatters. And what's best to share the interchatter? Your friends, your clients, your results. Understand? And why is that so important? Because everyone is looking for things that they may not know they need. You see, you have three brains. You don't have just one brain. At the very deep core of the brain, one of the brain functions is called amygdalas. The amygdala, okay, if you have not heard about it, controls only two things. How many things? So it's just the first thing they control is your survival. The second thing they control is your anticipation, which is your fear, right? Fear is an emotion of anticipation, and they're always constantly looking out for threats. Now, why is this so important? Because most people don't know what they're looking for. Most people most of the prospects, they they usually are very, especially the ones who are rich already, who can pay for your product, they usually are very egoistic. They usually are very prideful. Why? Because they got money, because they have done certain things, right, in order to get to where they are, to have their spending power, right? So I regularly sell maybe anywhere from 2K products to 30K products to hundreds of thousands of products, right? And what I found is that people with a certain spending power have their pride of achievements. With the pride of achievement, it can also kind of sabotage themselves because of their blind spots. Agree? So what you want to do is to remove objections along the way. And how I do that, for example, right? This Singapore fund manager just started out in offering programs as well. And when he reached out to me, what happened is that he was giving me a pitch that I said, hey, you can't use this pitch. And I give him a new pitch. Then what happened next was that he used the pitch and he made that pitch into the room. That was 20 February, where he gave me his prototype. So I gave him a revised format, readjusted. He used the same pitch at the very morning of 8 o'clock. And by 10 p.m., in fact, it was by around 6 p.m.-ish, he made 45 sales. 45 sales. 45 sales paying $97 to listen to him. But really, it's really to just sell them. So he's paid to sell this 130 buyers. Okay, and 45 of them responded. That's a 34% response rate. Now, I don't know about you, but in the world of conversions, anyone who gets 34% is quite good, isn't it? I mean, you can't get 50%, very rare chance. You can't get, some people try their best and they still can't get above 15 or 10%. And this guy got 34 at his first try, right? In one day, first try. And if only 15% or 10% of that 90 people who showed up on the webinar invest $250,000 with the fund, you know how much he has on the table? He would have over 2 million in one day or 4 days, right? Of a 3-day webinar. Okay. Now, after that, 26 February, he made another offer on the webinar itself. 26 February was on the webinar itself. So 5 days later, he went on the webinar. He made $13,000 by making an offer. So he already earned 4,000, paid to pitch. He's paid to pitch. How would you like that? How would you like to be paid to sell your programs and not losing a single dollar? Would you like that, Stuart? Would you like that, Philip, Dave, Saizrina? Okay. Kairu, and we have a new one, Sam, Chen, right? Welcome in, Ali. How would you like to be paid to demonstrate your expertise and make offers and make another $13,000 in 5 days? Wouldn't that be amazing? And your life would maybe start to change. Your perspective will start to change. And then another 1 week later, same page, same format, nothing changes. It's like riding a bicycle. You just buy better bicycles. You go faster. It's like driving a car. You go faster and you go faster and you go faster, right? And on that 7th March, 1 week later, he made another offer and he made another $11,000. Who don't mind 4 plus 13 plus 11 in under 30 days? Anyone has a problem making so much money in 30 days? Wouldn't that be amazing if you unlock this set of skills in 30 days?
My pitch is still zero. His last time hurdle, which didn't say. My pitch is still zero. His last time hurdle, which didn't say wrong. And to me, my listing is, I've done this for so many years. I pitched in front of funds, I've helped startups pitch to funds. My ego, right? Cannot see the value. I thought, okay,
did you hear that? Let's humble ourselves. Remember what I said? Removing objections before they showed up. You know how many egoistic clients I have? How many prideful clients I have just like that? This is not the first. And this guy, I'm the last of the class, right? Remember? and this guy is the top of the class. Can you imagine that disparity? Okay. And he, like he said, for 20 years of his life, for 20 years of my life, I teach. And for 20 years of his life, he actually pitched as well. He pitched startups to investors as well. You heard about it. Multi-billion funds. Everything you heard in the funds world, he probably is involved. He's even in the leadership rank, in the ranking board of the top 25 analysts. You know, and even he can humble himself and he learned something. Wouldn't that be amazing if you can do that as well?
You just be quiet and go test the features.
Has everyone learned something so far? In the last what? And under an hour? Has everyone been learning how you should readjust your selling, reposition your selling, readjust? Is your testimonials way behind your slides? Most of the people do that, right? Your testimonials are way behind. And then they run through like what, 700 pages of presentation slides with words and words and words and words and words and words and words. Right? And then they need scripts and going on and things like that. They need then they're just reading off the PowerPoint notes. And if you're doing that, right, then might as well you send out a PDF white paper report to them. Right? So besides that, right? So even if people at the highest level have done pitching for 20 years, have something to learn and still made result out of it. In less than 30 days, make over what, 40,000? Was that? 4, 17, 30, 20, around 30, 40,000? Do you think that's quite a good ROI in 30 days? Not bad, yeah? If you can unlock this skill, and if you make
Pitch is still zero. His last time hurdle, Jacob said,
make
just
30,000 every single quarter, not too much to ask, isn't it? You take 60 days to prepare, 30 days to close, and you make what? Over hundreds of thousands extra on top of what you're doing. Would that be a great, amazing ROI? A skill for life. Because why? As you get better at this, your presentation doesn't change, your pitch doesn't change, only the size of your audience changes. And if you're doing the same thing to tens of thousands of people, isn't that potentially going to make you $1 million a year? Wow, changing the world. Wow, improving lives. So is this only about stage, presentation, pitch? No. Once you learn this set of skills, once you have this persuasion theory, it even work for online. It even work for advertisement. It even work on advertisement going viral, right? Just need to learn a little bit of the tools. For laundry shop, even offline retail laundry shop made over $50,000 for one contract, and he made over 40,000 for one contract. So in one dinner, and that's a recurring contract. Therefore, every year, in 5 years' time, it's about $250,000 again, right? It's just one time. This is a real estate agent as well, attending class, made $30,000 in 21 days. All these results are like a normal thing. Why? Because it's just like driving a car and not crashing. It's a very normal thing when you drive the car right. Wouldn't you agree? If you drive a car right, you know exactly the person in front of you ready to buy or not. You know exactly what objection to remove or not. You know exactly whether this person you even want to give your time of the day to do selling. And if you know this person is not right, you don't even want to do selling. And you can just conserve your energy, ready for the next queue. True? And with that conserved energy, you're either having some wines, having some food, having better socializing hours, because you know they're not ready. Why would you go and cook a meat or eat a meat that is not cooked? I hope there's no vegetarians here. But why would you eat a meat that's not cooked, isn't it? Unless you are taking like beef, right? However, other than that, why would you eat something that's not ready to cook? Why would you sell someone who's not ready to buy? How do you identify who's ready to buy? That takes skills, that takes learning, that takes study. And if they're ready to buy, how do you position yourself? all the way to making them wanting to buy, right? So, if you're from Singapore and you have not made thousands of dollars a month, and then suddenly you receive 3,500 with cash, I think that can pretty much change the way you see sales forever and pitch forever. True? So even a student, I've got people who send their kids to me, learn the skills, and maybe in the first year, the kids don't see results. After all, they're just two kids, right? But this 23-year-old only made $40 after first time learning from me. But what happened is that after he get into the job, into the careers, he has become the team leader in a capital firm. He's able to dominate the interview. He can win proposals. He can bid for the projects he wants to do. He can achieve job promotion. Why? Because at the core of it, he has a strong communication skill, a strong persuasion skill, understanding what makes people tick, understanding the amygdalas, and how to actually talk to specific part of the brain, the 8 triggers, which I shared 3 today, right? And if you understand all 8 triggers, you know what you're looking for. Just like when you're driving a car, when you know what you're looking for, you don't miss the exit. True? You are like a AI. You are like a, what's that called? A self-driving car technology, where you know exactly what to look out for, and you know exactly where to turn, you know exactly when to slow down. And once you learn all of this, it becomes a lifelong skill, right? And it's not just theories, it's not just talks. Even for myself, I've collected sales, I've used the same system, used the same set of skills, used the same method, and promote seminars, promote programs. Where, for example, this was in Singapore when a China, I don't know if Stewart has heard of this guy, Wang Chong, in China, quite big, his classes, no? Okay, so he came to Singapore, his team started to came to Singapore. I was invited to help to kind of like push for it, sell for it as well. And I do what I do, find the right contacts and all. And for myself, I mean, there's a lot of different sales team, but for myself, in 28 days, I brought them a sales of over $55,000. That's just my personal sales record, not the entire seminar, right? I mean, myself, I brought in 55,000 for them sales in 28 days. You think not bad, huh? Even for myself, I used it. So it's not something that I teach or just talk or it's just theories. It's live practitioner. And I've got some friends here who actually saw me live, who have seen me in those events before. They witnessed this. Isn't it true, my friends, if you're here, right? So, and in the range of 40 days in total, the total sales was over hundreds of thousands. It average out per day, that means on average, it's about 4,000 a day for sales. Not bad, right? Yeah. It's just a little bit bragging myself, praising myself, okay? Just to prove to you that it's not something that I only taught, it's something that I used for the last 20 years, okay? Now, so it's actually very, it's been tested, proven over the last 20 years. I've taught this to over 5, now thousands of people have learned it from Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, even Taiwan, right? Even in Chinese, even in Mandarins. So it's learnable. It's not a talent. It's transferable. It's not a secret. I made it into a very simple system because I was not a genius. I failed. I failed in class. I was the last in class. In fact, let me tell you a little secret. During my schooling days, I was predicted to be the first to be married. Not because I'm handsome, but because they predict that because of my rebellion, I'll be the first to get married out of consequences. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I was not a genius. I was so if you think that this needs just for you is not, it's a skill, it's a system. And if you have the right system and you have the right motivation already, that being here, hindrance might not be a problem anymore.
And there's your beautiful baby. Any day now.
Really? You're eating Doritos? He's eating Doritos.
and my ultrasound. You see what I have to deal with.
I know.
Give me that.
Who it's a little bit cynical joke, but do you guys understand the essence of that simple video? If you have the right motivation to do what you need to do, hindrance disappear. And I want to share something really quick with you. That what if COVID happens again? Now, I don't know about you, but I've been involved. I've used my skills and been involved with the financial sector for a little bit, and I study a little bit on data like that. I'm involved with stock trading as well, stock investment as well. I'm very much into the stock market as well. I'm in the healthcare market, I'm in the stock market, and at the core of it, I'm in this education game, right? And since 2024, I want you to look at this. The debt level has gone up significantly again. Now, when the last time this happened, when this parity has increased, it was in 2016. Right? Now, in 2021, we diverge again. So it's been 4 years now. The last time it happened was 4 years later, and now it's been 4 years. 2021, and now it's 2024, entering 2025. Now, my question to you is, if it happens again, am I saying it will? No, I'm not sure what will happen, right? With a new president, with the new crisis and things like that. When it happens again, are you safe? Do you have a set of skills that you can rely on when all hell break loose? Okay. And if you're in business, if you have survived after 10 years, congratulations. Because why? Because you are one of the 30%. You're one of the 3 that survived. Because most business failed. Most business don't survive past the 10 years mark. And the ultimate reason is either they have no market need or they ran out of cash. They ran out of money. They have no money left. So, do you have the set of skill where you can constantly raise capital, sell, close, persuade, influence to bring in money at any given time? What if today we have a blackout of energy? What if today we have a blackout of technology? What if we have a blackout of automation and all the tools you rely on can no longer help you with getting money? Then what are you left with? You're left with this vessel, this instrument, and this tool. This is the only tool you have left. And this is the only asset that you have left. When it comes down to it, when all retrenchment is on an all-time high, and you need a new job, when all clients are not buying, when all prospects are not looking to purchase anything, the only 2 things you have left is what? This and this. And you have to ask yourself in a serious question where, would you be able to survive without everything else and just this vessel and this instrument? Would you able to thrive? Would you able to thrive and survive? Okay. And even if we are on a peaceful time and everything, is your communication in your family great? Because you know why? Especially if you're single or you're newlywed, if you have young kids. Studies have shown that poor communication is the essence of bad relationships. I've met with a lot of very miserable millionaires. There's so much money in their bank, but they are looking for the connection they cannot seem to find. They have terrible communication skill. They are hurtful. They are prideful, and the things that come out of their mouth should be wrapped in a blanket. So the $100 million system teaches you how to speak to that part of the brain that can get you anything you want, whether it's money, love, or relationship. And if your prospects are defensive all the time, your kids argue to you all the time, your bosses dismiss your ideas all the time, and your friends or your clients and your customers ignore the facts, and a lot of people are selective in what they're listening, then chances are the 100 million system can actually help you. Because at the end of the day, you need to learn how to get past that old confirmation bias. It's one of the 50 bias, And that is the reason why at the very beginning, you remember? At the very beginning, we talk about this. That people have the 6 most common reasons they are not buying from you. And because of confirmation bias, they are at least having 4. With the belief of too expensive is actually supported by the next 4, right? Now, in order to get past the confirmation bias, what you need is to know that there's different prospect you're talking to. The world is divided, and whatever I enjoy may not be something that you like. The world is divided into 4 types of people. And if you're using the red kind of scripting, which you are, let's say you are a red, like me, I'm a red guy, right? That red is me. If I'm red, I'm only using the language of red. Guess who can I close? That's right, only reds. Do you think I would ever close a green? Do you think a dog can ever convince a human in the dog language itself? So the answer is that there's 4 different types of people in this world. You have to learn each of these 4, what they resonate with, what they resonate to. Like when you actually have a new cat, you have to learn the cat language. A new dog language. You cannot use the same way you train a macaw, a parrot, the same way you train a dog. It's 2 different, distinct, even though they're both animals. And in the human world, there's 4 different types of people you must learn because they all respond and resonate to different triggers, different desires, different, what we call the tripwires as well, the different excuses. All of them have different excuses and reason and desire, right? So, may I have the next? So with that being said, all right, Stuart, are you learning a lot? The thumbs up if you're learning a lot. Yeah. Sajrina, Dave, Philip, Kamaru, Sam, Ali, are you guys learning a lot from the last, almost just an hour? Yeah. So with your permission, can I share with you, if you want the next step, and if you think that all of this resonate with you, what I shared in the last 1 hour, you believe that it can help you if you were to go deeper and prolong the duration that you have with me. May I take the next, maybe, few minutes to share with you how you can be a part of it? Fair enough? Thank you. Okay, so very simply put, the system that I have created over the last 20 years now, very importantly, is that you will learn that every human is the same. You just need to learn the 4 types. You'll learn the skills, the system to persuade anyone, a proven method to reduce your sales cycle, saving you time and money, and a very simple yet detailed step-by-step system that most importantly is effective, where you can get predictable results. Very important, the word predictable results. All right, a fast track, a way to connect more deeply, build longer and deeper relationship, and most importantly, is proven by science. It's not theories, it's proven by science. Okay. For example, Jeffrey, remember the tuition guy that I told you about, where he made over 100,000, right? This is what he sent me. Okay. And have you heard of this? Look at what he said. He said, where got tuition center make 5 digit in 1 day? And a program that is for 3,000 is unheard of in the industry, because most people will pay maybe 300 bucks, 200 bucks. No one will pay 3,000 upfront. Right? So it was a tectonic shift, and he achieved 6 figures in just under 5 months. Now, if you can get somewhere near the 6 figure, would it be worth it? And if you can make tens of thousands in 1 day, making presentations like that, would it be worth it? And the game plan I gave him was not 10,000, it was 200,000. I gave him a 12 months roadmap. He achieved half of it in under 6 months. It's pretty kick-ass for himself when he learned the system. And would it be worth it for you if you can make 50% of your next year goal in the next 3 months or 6 months? Would that be amazing? And would it be nice if you can be featured in the medias without payment? They found you. in order because you're doing such great work with what you do. And it accelerates every single thing.
So I was barely making 2,000 a month, okay, with very poor enrollment. The company, the membership, company is not bringing in money, and
Jeffrey was cheated off a vendor.
15,000 just gone like that.
Someone sold him the idea that pay 15,000, do website, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. They just went MIA. He was in a bad shape.
So after your coaching, I was able to make up this $15,000 really easily. Okay, right now we are already from Jan to June, we are already in a revenue of 100,000. Okay, and we are hoping to close this year with about 300,000 to 500,000.
He's looking to close the year not with 100, with 300 to 500. You see the ambition, you see that light, you see the confidence changed. With competence, friends, with competence, your confidence will change as well. And once your confidence kicks in, your cash comes rolling in and your freedom starts rolling out. But money is not at the core of everything, agree?
I've experienced relationship improvement with my mom and my wife. And without your coaching, all these are not possible. And I would really like to thank you and show you some.
Good thing that was quite impressive and amazing for Jeffrey. He made money, he recovered from his downfall, and he has a significant improvement with his loved ones. Can you see that? Can you see that that's the part of himself that he enjoys the most? Can you see that smile, that eyes, that laughter, where he can connect with his mother, with his loved one? Am I practicing everything I teach in the first 30 minutes of today just now, Stewart? Have I demonstrated to you that my clients, everyone else, is looking for the three things, and I do everything in my power to make sure I tangibilize that three things? True? Can you and all of you imagine if going forward from today onwards, if there's nothing else you take away from today's class and that's the only thing you do, can you see yourself adding one more zero to your bank account? Can you see yourself having more prospect than now? So with that said, I want to introduce you to the program that I've created and that I have. And in that program, what you'll be able to do is to achieve results like that. For some of you who already have the foundational skills, you might be able to achieve it faster. For those of you who are brand new, don't give up. Every master started off as that's right, disaster. But don't give up. You drive, even as an F1 racer, they crash. But they practice, and they practice, and they practice. They practice every single day. Do you know, prepare for this presentation? In the past, I would do 10 rounds on my own, record, and I record myself talking for an hour. I review for myself an hour, and I will do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: if you think this is a talent, that I'm talking and speaking and selling and closing without a script, this is a skill, a trainable, transferable program that I assure you. Sounds good, right? So the program is split into learning the 5 parts, the 5-part system, where I teach you from very beginning how to establish yourself with the power, establish yourself from a position of power, how to draw the intent from your prospect, your clients, audience, and everything else, and then how do you really teach, how to enter the close, and how do you really build habits that's sustainable for an entire lifetime. Is anyone getting some glimpse of the fact that they are going through this process in the last 1 hour? Yeah? I'm trying to prove one thing and one thing only. It was that I'm not someone who read the books and give you a content of reading a book. This is, you just finish the pit of the prophets. You just finished the tea. P. You just finished the I. You finished the T without realizing you were going through the process, isn't it? But was it an enjoyable moment? Did you learning something? You have aha moment clicking in. And once you learn the full 20 steps that involves behind the 5 parts, you can enter the close in a very, very smooth manner as well, which is what we're going through now. Can you see the system is a very systematic process, a very smooth process as well? And it's a very enjoyable process, right? So these are my rates of what people are paying me offline for a consult with me. A 4-hour block, they will pay me $12,000 for a consult to consult on their business, their companies. I was consulting a financial companies for 4 of their outlets. And usually for my coaching is all the way from to $6,000 USD for my group coaching. And for the study courses is $2,000 for the online study course. And as you can see from the results, isn't it true that there's no reason to sell cheap? Investing in 6,000 can make 30,000 in 30 days. There's no reason to sell cheap, isn't it? And if I'm someone who sells, if I can learn, if I can sell that expensive, do you think I can help you readjust your position price as well? If you think I can, then great. Because in today's offer, as is Black Friday week, I'm going to do something for all of you who is here. And you can't find this outside of this class, all right? And don't worry, you will have time to decide. Now, very simply put, the offer is very simple. You take the whole program. You can choose whether you want an express or you want a budget. If you're on a budget, I understand, right? And if you're someone who is on the express and you want to really get yourself to the next level, learning the persuasion skills, get involved with me on a more intimate basis, then get on the express train. If you're just starting out, you're still unsure a little bit, sure, get on the budget train, right? Fair enough. I give something for everyone, right? So both bundle gets the program for one pitch where you learn the 5-step process. Both of you will get the 100 greatest headline ever written for your prospecting, for your getting of customers. I also decided to throw in that follow-up templates. My thinking is very simple. Even if you're on a budget right now, doesn't mean you don't have $1 billion worth in the future. And if I can get you past that budget route, I'm sure one day we will do business again together. See, I'm not just offering education. I'm finding business partners as well. If I find that your business is great, I have no problem introducing your company, your business, your product to my circles of friends as well, right? And if your product is really the next unicorn, hey, maybe we can raise some capital, get some VCs, get some investors, get some angels to be involved as well, right? Maybe. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm sure you know your worth and value. And I believe that everyone is a genius as long as we are not judged by the ability to climb a tree. Agree? So, however, if you're on the express train, what else would I give it to you is the $1 million branding scripts, where once you know someone, right, the first point of contact when you meet someone new at a social point, what kind of follow-up or scripts should you be sending out over WhatsApp, either over WhatsApp, over emails, over WeChat, over all sorts of communication channel? What are the 7-step process? What are the 7-step messages? I'll send it to you, customize it, personalize it to your, customize and personalize it to your style, your tone of voice, your things, but I'll explain to you what is the rationale and the psychology behind all 7. And once you do that, everyone will remember you for life. And that's the first step of doing business, isn't it? That people remember you. Why? Because most people are forgotten way before they're even remembered. Does anyone disagree that most people are forgotten before they have a chance to be remembered? And we leave this world more often than not remembered. So on top of that, you also get a 300 objections counter cheat sheet. These are objections that are over the last 20 years now. I found that I've been adding and adding whenever I listen to a new objection that I couldn't counter, I couldn't answer, and I come up with it as well. I learned over the books as well, accumulated and everything. I found that this 300 is pretty much it. I haven't heard of anything that's outside of this 300. And most of the time, I can find it in the 300. But if you do that process well, chances are you might not even need the 300 because you already know what the top 6, right? But hey, in case you are someone that is a super learner and you really want to dive into the 300 of how I created the program, how I created all this, right? The 300 serve as like that base ingredient because of those 300 objections I've accumulated and experience. It forms the basis of today's essence. Is this making sense? All right. Okay, and finally, the most valuable thing on earth is what? Not money. Time, isn't it? Time is something that, hey, even if you give me $1 million today, I can't buy back the last 10 years of my life. And and my love language is time. If I give you my time, I love you. And for me, some people's love language is maybe cars, maybe toys, maybe flowers, right? Maybe sex, right? For me, is time, and because I believe that we don't have that many 10 years, and time gone is gone. You can't buy back, no matter how much you have. So this is one of my most valuable bonus, which is a 15-session coaching with me over the next 6 months, right? So after you enter the program, you will discover how to activate the 15, but total you get 15 sessions with me. All right. For it, you get an express intensive of the first 5 weeks to go through the 1-page program with me. All right. Listen very carefully. Here's how it works. I'll give you the process right now. Okay. Once you enter the program, and we need at least 5 to start. We need at least 5 participants before we start the program. You can receive all the bonuses in advance. Right. To start the program with me, we need at least 5 to make the best use of time. Okay. If you so what happened is, in the first 5 weeks after we start, we go on an express route where you complete PITCH in 5 weeks. Understood? Very simple. You complete PITCH in 5 weeks, and then that's 5 sessions. The next 10 sessions you have with me is over the next 6 months. Right? Over the next 6 months, every month we meet 2 times. We meet over like Zoom like this, where you are practicing, you are trying out all this thing, and it's a review sessions, it's a readjustment, just like going for chiropractic sessions. Your spine might get misaligned, your scripts might get misaligned, all of this, right? The next 10 sessions are for review sessions. The whole idea is to make you a master persuasionist, a master salesperson, a master speaker, right? So that you can get there. It's a skill-based program. It's not an opportunity-based program. It's very different. It's a skill-based program where it is to improve your driving skill. It is to improve your speaking and selling skill. Understood? Very simple stuff. All right. So if you think that this is something you want and enjoy, and you want to get it out into the world before New Year's, before Christmas, then very much I would love to welcome you in. All right. Now, as you can see with all the results, you can believe by now, all of this are achievable. Now, in order to make you convinced, I give you a money back guarantee. If for the next, after you finish the program, for the next year, and you cannot see yourself making $1 million in your entire lifetime, you don't believe that after you have the skills, you can make $1 million. If you put it to practice, I give you all your money back. Fair enough? All right. So that's a money back guarantee, right? If you complete the program and you don't think that you can make $1 million for yourself in your entire life. Okay, so very simply, the total value is over 20, 30,000 for today, only for Black Friday series. If you get on the express train, you get 15 coaching sessions with me for just 2,000 USD. My billing system are all in USD because I travel around the world. So my systems are all in USD, right? Now, so for the budget route, for those of you who are still on the budget, maybe you're still an employee, a student, right? Sure, get started to learn for just $4.99. Sounds good? Both learn the same thing, you just get more things on the express, you get more of my time. And if there's something like you, right? Team, can you send in the link for them to enroll if they're interested? And once you enroll, then we'll get introduced, we'll get more involved. And one final word is, here's the thing. life is short, is it? However, the world is very big. If you learn this skill, the world is your oyster. So with that being said, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you learned something great. And let's see. So the team will send in the link in order for you to enroll if you want to. All right. And then after that, I'll take my bow. And for those of you who enjoy, welcome to the team. And I will see you soon. All right.